Welcome to Hub and Spoke, the podcast for busy marketers looking to get more leads and sales. Discover the latest from the world of content marketing and social media. Here are your hosts from the Kingdom, Zan Johnson and Adam Steinhardt.
Thanks so much, Cecilia, and welcome, Zan Johnson, to Hub and Spoke, episode number 48.
Hey, Adam, how are you?
Good, and we're back.
We are back, and you seem to have decided you're the host.
Why am I the host? Why am I the host?
Well, because last time, like 9 months ago, it was me running the show.
Oh, you go take it from the top.
Welcome, Adam. Thanks for joining us for episode 48.
Wonderful. Thanks for having me, Zan.
And wasn't 47 fun?
It was, and it's good that we only took a week to get back to doing it
I know,
again, unlike last time, which was 9 months.
We have been true to our word of last week where we said we would be back. And we're actually not kidding. We've had some amazing feedback, which is really, we were poking a bit of fun at ourselves last week, but we've had some people say that it's great to have heard us again, and we even had some questions, which was really exciting.
Very exciting. And
so thank you for everyone getting in touch with us.
It gives you a new insight into the power or the challenge of radio hosts, wondering if anyone's listening.
Oh, I know, right?
They must
that
have
would be
very shallow personalities.
Fearful. But I think the other thing that it points out is that in the space of 9 months, you know, our content has been out there still. Our episodes were still being listened to. And I guess maybe have we made a podcast with evergreen content? I don't know.
Well, I think that's part of the great benefits of creating evergreen content is that it does just keep on performing. And certainly for the listeners out there that do have HubSpot and are using content to build trust with their potential prospects, the evergreen factor is really powerful. I mean, we see it with our blogs, and we see it with the posts that were produced, a couple of years ago, but still solve the same problems that exist today. And so, incredible power, and certainly the podcast does have that impact as well, which is exciting.
Well, and what we saw was people were continuing to download our episodes while we were not making new ones. So that's kind of where I was coming from with that. But anyway,
master of the lazy cracks. Yep.
Let us get on with it. So it's a pretty simple format here in Hub and Spoke Land. We've got a couple of sections that we like to touch on, and I'm going to kick them off with what it is that we're liking right now. So I've got one to start with. Are you happy with me going first?
Oh, you're the host.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Hostess. My like is I'm touching on reporting again. I'm going back to reporting.
Yep.
And it's reporting, using the reporting tool to actually report on what your sales team have been doing using the CRM.
Yes. Now, I like this, Zan Johnson, because what we're effectively doing here is also, and it's part of our new charter in 2018. Now, we've been HubSpot partners now for 3 years.
Yep.
We've dined out on the spoils of being the International Partner of the Year back in 2015. And so, we've climbed a bit of a mountain and gone down and gone up it again. So tip for agencies, and part of our show is to actually help agencies more. And one of the big things is reporting.
Yeah.
And one of the things we've discovered is that HubSpot will be successful for plenty of reasons, but it can also be unsuccessful when the sales team are not closing the deals and not closing the leads from the marketing generated content. And we see this a lot, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
Where the sales team may not have been brought into the process perhaps enough or trained on the tool enough or the implications of what the results the tool brings to then go and convert. Now, that's probably our biggest frustration. We can get leads, absolutely, using HubSpot, and it does a great job of nurturing potential prospects, bringing them down the funnel, but ultimately, in most cases, acting as an agency, we don't get to jump on the phone and close the deal. So that point about reporting is super important. Do you want to tell the listeners perhaps a bit about how we get to the reporting spot? And you are the host, and so it's your question.
Oh, very touche.
I've spoken a lot. Need to take a deep breath. But talk about how we actually have done it for one particular customer to assist the sales team in working and understanding what works.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess this came about from having quite a large sales team, and we just needed to. It sounds like we're checking on them, and I guess for all intents and purposes we are, but it was really about bringing all of that information into one screen where we could read it and digest it simply. And what we learned was that, people were making heaps of notes, taking or making calls and actually recording the calls through the tool itself via the app on the phone.
Yep.
And it sort of uncovered just this nice little pie chart or bar graph
Yep.
that pegged all the sales team against one another.
Competitive, yeah. I mean,
gamified it a little.
absolutely. And, this is one of the things we see having run sales teams before is that competition will just about in all situations create better results in nearly all walks of life.
Definitely.
So the process of creating those dashboards wasn't overly difficult, and we were focusing on the activities, so focusing the calls, the tasks, the notes, pretty much the use of the tool.
Yeah.
And by being able to create a dashboard, sales dashboard or a marketing dashboard, it wasn't terribly hard to do. It then allowed us to see, okay, who is using the tool? What are they using it for? It gave more impetus to training.
Definitely.
Because the outcomes for the sales team were they could see their name go up on the scoreboard and up in lights. I don't think there was any real negative out of that.
No, not at all.
Nobody really felt like they were being checked up on. It was very much a case of, we love the tool. Now, to do this, though, the key to success, and this is a tip for agencies as well as anybody who is deploying HubSpot, is you've got to spend a lot of time training.
Yes.
You've got to spend time on having the sales team appreciate why they need to use the task, why they need to use notes, why they need to use the calling function and recording the stuff, because it's if you understand the why, then you get the buy-in.
Well, and I think this is something that you always touch on when you're introducing a new customer to HubSpot for the first time, or just, I guess, showcasing the CRM and all of the cool, fancy stuff that it can do. You often mention that more than one person or more than one salesperson is involved in a customer relationship at any one time. So the notes section, for example, as a user of the marketing side of the tool, I find the notes really important because that's my direct link really to the salesperson to knowing, okay, well, this person's struggling to find information on X, Y, and Z topic. So I actually seek out notes on customers all the time.
Yep.
So things like that, just making sure that a sales team knows that the notes tool is there for a purpose, and it, anyone at any point can become up to speed on where someone's at in the process.
Yeah, and very often, especially these days where there's digital nomads everywhere, very often people aren't in the same room. And one of the days of being able to shout across the corridor and say what's going on with this.
Absolutely. Well, we ourselves are part of the digital nomad era and work in different places all the time.
Correct. Yeah.
As is the phrase digital nomad. But to have those notes is just ideal.
Yeah, and the other thing too is that, so this is part of the core of the presentation I asked you at Inbound, was that HubSpot will blow up in your face if you do not have the sales team on board. It's that simple. So if you're out there in an agency, you're out there as a marketing team that's deployed HubSpot, or if you're a CEO or part of the C-suite that are looking to actually do HubSpot, if you don't have the sales team on board, you won't get the conversion, and it will result in usually HubSpot being blamed and usually some marketing heads roll at the same time. But the problem more often than not is in change management and training that goes with the sales team.
Awesome. That might be a topic for episode 49. But what about yourself? What are your likes?
I've got a question without notice for you. We've got an event. We're going to reveal, I decided last night and haven't told you, that we're going to reveal in episode 50 what we did for 9 months.
Yeah, no, I saw that note.
Oh, you saw that note?
I saw that note.
Yeah, cool.
I kind of got it.
So we're going to start building up our very own hype, a very own podcast event.
Oh, don't believe the hype.
Exactly. So listeners, 2 weeks' time will be episode 50.
Okay.
And we're going to tune in and we're going to tell everything about what we did for 9 months.
I can't wait to hear what we did for 9 months.
Well, it was kind of like an Area 51 type project, kind of, sort of.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what's your like? What are you liking this week?
Oh, what am I liking this week? Good.
You've been busy.
Full on. Yeah, no. So I'm still really enjoying the new sources dashboard.
Yeah.
It's getting taken away. Okay. I'm liking the flexibility it brings to being able to organize dashboards. And I guess one of the things we have learned over the 9 months is reporting is so important. And flexibility of dashboards, it's often not looked at straight away, but now I'm actually saying, right, we're going to build this dashboard straight away. The first thing we do on the new portal is spin it up. Second thing we do is get the tracking code into the website. And then from there, we're going to build a dashboard that shows the progress. And those dashboard reports are going to go to us as the agency to show the key things we need to know. And they're going to be different for the C-suite and the bosses and the people that need to know different information. So those reports starting from the very beginning, I think, are critical. They set the trend
Yep.
of what's going forward. And what I like a lot about the reports on the dashboard is they're interactive, which means you can turn, just by clicking on certain sources, for example, with the sources report, you can just turn off and turn on organic or social, whatever the source is, and see that change real time on the dashboard. So I'm kind of liking that.
Yeah, I like it too. It's it's always interesting to see what's working month to month and what's not working month to month, and then go about actually fixing what's not working.
Exactly, and HubSpot
Cool.
lets you do that.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was kind of a segue into my next section, which is a new section for 2018. It's a tip for agencies.
Tip for agencies. We should have a jingle.
Well, Celia, come on.
We have to go and find her.
So while you think about whether or not that was your tip for agencies,
No, it's not my tip at all.
my tip for agencies is pretty straightforward and simple. Part of the CRM, it's part of the sales tool, is the meetings link.
Yes.
People have been, in our experience, people have been a little slow to be
we don't
keen
wanna
to do
change.
it.
Why would we wanna
I
change
don't
from
think
the old
anyone's
ways?
going to
Yep.
click on it. No, that's not how we do things around here. Lo and behold, it's working for people.
Well, I hate it when I don't have a meetings link now.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
annoying.
you've been using it for ages, but for customers, it took a little bit of convincing.
Yep,
And
yep.
now we're at the point where we're relying on it for this one client in particular, and they're having 100%
Loving
take-up rate for it.
Yeah, and the thing is too, now that HubSpot has allowed us to have our own domains,
Yeah.
so we can actually, but before it was a HubSpot link, but now it's actually our own domain going before it, which is great. And, you can do some really cool things. One of the things we did during our 9-month hiatus was to create landing pages that had very little branding, no giveaway of the branding through the meetings link, which allowed a person to go and get a meeting with someone using HubSpot, and they didn't want them to know they were using HubSpot. So
Okay. Yep.
very cool flexibility. It's improved. Is the Sales Pro upgrade worth it? Absolutely.
Yes.
$50. It's all it is per month. It sounds like it could be quite expensive, but not at all. It's absolutely worth it, and that's just one reason why it is worth it.
Well, and team that meetings link with the sales reporting that we were talking about before, and all of a sudden you're arming your sales force with these amazing tools that can only set them up for success, right?
Yeah, and I guess the tip I've got, I can't remember what section we're up to in the podcast.
Just tip for agencies.
Tip for agencies.
Yep.
is it's going to take 9 to 10 training sessions to get sales team across this. Your own sales team or any sales team for a customer, it takes a lot of time to get it working.
Yep.
And so, you've got to put in that hard yards, because once you do, then you've got evangelists
Yes, definitely.
inside the organisation,
Yeah.
and
We're seeing that already,
start
aren't we?
loving it, start using it, and they start converting the deals. And once they start converting deals, then the finance department is super happy with the HubSpot license fee.
Cool. Excellent. So that was my tip for agencies.
Yeah, that
Meetings
can be mine
link.
too. That was excellent.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
Very good. Now,
You're hosting,
hashtag.
sorry, I'll be quiet.
Oh my God, you like to control this, don't you?
Oh.
Hashtag girl boss. Right. What am I wanting to change, or a something I'd like to add
Yeah, what is it, girl boss?
in the timeline?
Timeline, yeah, with you.
Someone leaves a note,
Thank you. Timeline. noted.
and you read it, and you go, "Oh, cool. Yep, no worries." I would like, now, I don't care if it's a star, a thumbs up, a
Oh, yeah. this is a great idea.
firecracker,
Firecracker.
a GIF, whatever. I would love a way of being able to internally acknowledge that.
So just a like. Thumbs
Yeah.
up. Yeah, still one from
Tick.
Still one from Facebook, guys.
Hello.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah, so
Yeah, get a like
I just
going.
think that that's a really valuable
Acknowledged. Correct.
acknowledged.
Yep.
Like,
yeah.
yes, I have read it. You've tagged me in it. Someone's
Yep.
tagged me in it.
Yep.
I've gone to the bother of leaving this great note.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do? Tag them back and leave another note?
Well, I'm going to give you a big thumbs up on that one. As a like.
Whee. Or maybe instead of a note section, they have a little ongoing conversation chat.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Inbuilt chat into the timeline.
What do you think?
Look, I think that there's a reason why you're a hashtag girl boss.
Yeah.
And you just nailed it.
What about you? Hashtag girl boss boy.
Well, it's a good question. I would love the API to be able to allow us to do something with email. Like, that's super frustrating. I know it's pretty techy, but obviously we program a lot in the API, and you can't do anything with email. You can't produce an email with an API, which is very frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
So you physically have to type the emails. Yeah, no, we've got some customers that have high repetition, with what they're doing. So we'd love to be able to automate that through APIs. So that's a big change. Now, the API library is strong with HubSpot. It's good. Not as intimidating as it may sound for a lot of people, and allows you to really extend the platform in a big way. But if you're a bit scared of the API library, then Zapier, programs like Zapier as well, will cover that up and actually integrate and allow you to access parts of the API without even knowing it. So as a girl boss, which I'm not, as a hashtag girl boss, which I can definitely contribute to, I'd like to get the email working with API stuff, but bit of a complex one this week.
Sure, yeah. You notice I didn't have a great deal to contribute to that one. Hashtag
not
girl boss.
all about the easy ones.
No, it's not. Very good, very good. All right, now bringing it back, app or software tool that we have been loving. This was always a favourite for us last year as we scrambled to think of what our new downloads were.
Yeah.
But I'm bringing something back, and this is almost a backhanded compliment for this software tool. But I'm going to talk about Slack and how much we love it because we have been using another chat communication tool in the meantime, and oh my gosh, how much do we love Slack?
Yeah, absolutely agree.
Just so easy and straightforward.
Well, we can name and shame Teams versus Slack.
Microsoft Teams.
Yeah.
Oh,
so that's our experience.
Talk about a convoluted user experience.
Well, they're true to their word.
It ain't my favourite.
No, it's not at all. That's a good one. So I've actually really got stuck into, I love the extensions part of Chrome.
Yes.
But Safari and Apple have now come out with extensions as well.
Really?
So Safari now can extend the platform. So it's only about 5 years behind.
Welcome.
Yeah.
We've been expecting
Welcome,
you.
Apple. Yeah. But I'm going to go with on that point. I'm going to perhaps segue into a bit of a rant here. Okay. When is Apple going to fix their search tool? It's so frustrating working on a Mac and having the search tool just being so 2005. Or maybe 1995. They need to really start. You get so used to using Google on the internet, and then you go back to the Apple Find tool, and it's a disaster.
So you're just talking about trying to find something on your hard drive?
Whether it be in the hard drive or on iTunes or, it's just absolutely 1995 gone haywire.
Yeah, it is a little frustrating.
I can just rant at Apple for hours, as you know. So we'll get off that. Move on. But, they finally caught up with, they finally decided to open up the platform to allow extensions, and Google Chrome extensions, so many fantastic ones. It's worth a browse every week just to see what's new, and you kind of get lost down a rabbit hole. But you end up with something that's awesome.
Oh, I do like it.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, that rounds out episode 48. If you would like to learn more about our Hub and Spoke podcast, you can visit our website, which is thekingdom.com.au/hub and spoke, where all of our episodes are listed. You can find us on iTunes also, and jump on Twitter and follow us there at Hub and Spoke. And Adam, anything to add before we head off?
I'm just impressed that you rattled them off. Like,
I know.
You've been doing this for years.
Yeah.
Don't forget episode 50. It's all going to be the big unveil.
The big reveal.
The big reveal.
Dun, dun, dun.
Excellent.
Thanks, everyone. We will speak to you next week.
See you later.
For all the new shows, check out www.thekingdom.com.au/hub and spoke. You have been listening to Adam Steinhardt and Zan Johnson of The Kingdom, an inbound marketing agency from Adelaide, South Australia. HubSpot Platinum Partners and the International HubSpot Partner of the Year 2015.